Sounds to me like that.
I can't hear you. Can't hear a word you're
Check
saying.
1, 2.
Nope, nothing. You can hear me, right?
Mm-hmm. Check 1, 2. Is that better? Is it coming through now?
Nope.
Nothing?
Oh, wait.
Now check your side.
Wait.
I know it was not working
Oh,
before.
my volume's way down. Try now.
Oh,
There we go.
that'll do it.
That'll do it. I have a question.
Yeah.
So the fee when you move cryptos around
Mm-hmm.
is always taken off in the deposit.
It's usually taken
When you
off.
move around, it's taken off when you move it from one platform to another, right?
Depends on the platform.
So my question then is, does there always have to be a something in there like the Ethereum to have to be able to take out?
Yeah, in MetaMask, yes, you got to have lots of Ethereum to process transactions.
Okay. How about Atomic Wallet?
Atomic Wallet doesn't act as the same type of thing as MetaMask. It won't operate the same. No, MetaMask will facilitate those trades using the Ethereum in your wallet. Atomic Wallet, I don't even remember. Did it have the capacity to swap?
Yes.
Then yeah, it would still charge Ethereum. You'd have to have a balance of Ethereum in order to do those. Yeah.
So you can't just use because I'm just trying to figure this out. So I have to have a balance of Ethereum to transfer money in.
Nope. You need a balance of Ethereum to trade Ethereum contracts.
Okay,
So
so
if it's on,
say there's a
yeah,
contract of there's a contract of $3,000
yeah,
Ethereum
hmm
dollars in whatever Ethereum
yeah,
number that is.
yeah,
Okay, so let's say it's 10 Ethereum.
hmm
Okay, whatever dollars the amount that is. So got this and trading it into Atomic Wallet.
hmm
Would you use that Ethereum? Would the trade or the swap or the however you want to call it take the fee off of that 10 Ethereum to trade it into Atomic Wallet?
Yes, the fees will come out of the amount that's in the transaction.
Right.
So if you don't, well, and again, this goes to let's so no, it's not coming out of the money that's going to the wallet. It's coming out of the wallet that's sending it.
So you have to have Ethereum already in the wallet.
There would need to be some when you go and click if you're going to send it
So
and
my
you click.
question is how do you get the Ethereum into the wallet if you can't put Ethereum in the wallet until you I'm confused,
No problem. I'll draw it out on the chalkboard here.
right?
That'll help.
Because you're saying to put Ethereum into Atomic Wallet, I need Ethereum in the wallet. And if it's a brand new wallet, can you have Ethereum in the wallet if you don't put it in the wallet? And if you don't have anything in the wallet, how can then you put it in the wallet?
Yeah, then I did. Then I definitely made it less clear as we went on. So here I'll make it clear with the chalkboard. Okay.
And that doesn't matter with any wallet. Like, I mean, so Eternal Wallet, is that
Uh,
similar to Atomic and MetaMask and Lace? And
if
so
you
is
have
there,
a send, you're going to have a sender, a receiver. So
yeah,
as a sender, the receiver does not require to have a balance in order to receive. So it can be zero.
okay.
That's fine. The sender, let's say for instance, use the 10 Ethereum example. So
Mm-hmm,
10 Ethereum are sitting here. You want to send that 10 Ethereum to the receiver.
mm-hmm,
But in the wallet, there's that max button.
mm-hmm.
When you click that max button, it'll be 10 minus, whatever the transaction fees are now, probably somewhere around here, minus 0.007. So
Mm-hmm.
you're maxing it out. You're draining the account, but the fee is coming out of the 10 that you're sending.
Right. That's what I'm asking. The receiver doesn't need anything in their
That's right.
wallet.
That's
Okay.
right.
Okay. Mm-hmm,
Yep.
mm-hmm. That's what I thought.
I have had it in MetaMask where if there's not enough in this wallet, in the sender's wallet, well, and I should say the holder's wallet, because then what I thought you were referencing was this. So you have Ethereum, but you want to swap.
No, I'm not swapping. So
Okay. Yeah.
say it's someone else is wanting to deposit Ethereum into your new Atomic wallet.
Yeah.
Do you have to have a balance in there?
No.
Okay. Thanks.
Someone is stringing you a line, aren't they?
Yep.
Yep. Yep. That's unfortunate. Is it that same guy that said that he would probably be able to help you retrieve it? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Bummer.
Yeah. Well, scammers are scammers are scammers.
Yep.
But I'm talking to him at 2 o'clock, so I'm going to explain this to him.
Yeah.
The ethical way to do this.
He'll probably hang up on you.
Oh, probably. And that's all right.
Okay. Let's go on.
I just have to, I guess, accumulate all this and finally take it to the police and actually get someone to
Whatever you
investigate
can.
it,
Yeah. Whatever you
right?
can.
Because it just keeps coming. It just keeps
Yeah.
going, right? So, yeah.
Okay.
And I
Silver.
don't know if Michael's going to come. No idea. I've sent him
Yeah.
the link and
That's all good. We'll meet up soon. So silver back on the rise again. We had that little equalization occur up until the first, and then yesterday, was it? Yep. Yesterday at about 8 o'clock, we got back up above that consolidation range, tested it real quick, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're climbing our way back up to that all-time high without much resistance. Very little resistance. This climb here, now I'm on the 2-hour chart, so each bar is only 2 hours. This climb has been very consistent over the last 3 days. So this sign here, this is a sign of things to come. This all-time high, I have a sneaky suspicion that it's just going to blow right by it. Very little resistance. We'll see it, zigzag, but it'll just be bump, down, and up again. This clearly did not provide much resistance. In fact, it only provided resistance the one time. I'll zoom in. It provided resistance the one time, retraced, but then shot over and then used that resistance as support to make the next high. So it's a very strong asset right now. Gold still not climbing back up to its all-time highs. Petering out, it seems, at this time. We'll see how things progress as the week goes on. It's got quite a bit of resistance coming from this level here right now. We can see if we zoom in onto the 1 hour, we can see just how much fluctuation it's been having, butting up against it and coming back down. But those lows are getting higher. Bitcoin against gold made a big drop. In fact, against gold, Bitcoin dropped 3% here in the last couple hours. And there's why. I'm going to go out to the 4-hour chart. And we can see that, oh yeah, we came up to a new high here. We basically tested this one. Makes sense that we're going to come back down, probably retest 90,000. Come back to this point here where there was some resistance. That'll be a pivot point. Bitcoin dominance. Oh, nope, that's market cap. Yay, Bitcoin dominance on the drop. Big time. In fact, since yesterday when we last had our market analysis, yeah, moving quite quickly actually. Good, it's a good sign. Ethereum up against Bitcoin actually rising. So it's becoming more expensive to get Bitcoin with Ethereum. Oh, sorry, other way around. That's how much Bitcoin it is to get 1 Ethereum. So it's getting more expensive to buy silver with gold, the digital versions of themselves, which can be confusing. Oh, thank you, Wartime America. You are now creating new highs in the market again. Amazing how it just keeps on going and going. Unbelievable. Ha ha ha. Ethereum, over the past, since the end of November, has not gone below the 2632 and in fact is showing strength with higher lows. We got to get up above this resistance at 3440. That's going to be presenting some resistance. Another place at 3600. It's going to be another resistance. Once we get up above that, then I'll be more encouraged about the continued rise towards that all-time high. This is good to see that we bounced off of this support here, and we didn't come back to test it again, or we didn't dip down super far into the pivot zone. We bounced right off of it, creating new highs. We zoom in, we can start to see that definition. With this here, this is this is small scale. A, B, C, D, and we already created another CD, another extension. That's why I'm saying this here is now market structure. If Ethereum can continue to rise, which if the Bitcoin dominance continues to fall, then we will see this come up. And it'll be about time. Midnight, looking at the 2-hour charts, actually dropped the last day or so. Finding some support back over here. This trend line is kind of irrelevant at this point. I mean, it definitely is there, but now this trend line is showing more dominance. We'll see what happens as it comes to a close. Might even have a descending pennant pattern. ADA showing some strength here. In fact, this rise that we've seen is very indicative of continuing to go up. We do have major support. If we go on back onto the daily chart, we can see there's major support at these levels where we are right now. Similarly to what we saw with Ethereum, how it came down and touched this support at 33 cents US, that has given, like, it didn't come back to retest that, which is not surprising because the floor is 30 cents. Now, yeah, it could still come back down to haunt us at 30 cents. There's no question about it. However, as long as we keep creating new highs, this was the last high. We went above that. We'll probably see a retest of the 37-cent line, simply because that provided some resistance and support in the past. So watch for the pivot line here at 37 cents. I think we're getting down to the wire on that micro analysis. Doge up as well, showing some signs of strength simply because these previous highs are being challenged quite a bit. Like this high and this high, both pressed up against that nice and hard. We have come back down to test this old resistance there at 14 cents. See if it can hold that for the rest of the day. Injective also on the rise, but finding that long-term trend line, little bit of resistance on that long-term trend line. Oh, no, that's a channel. Yep, that's a channel. So let's make this let's adjust this so that it has more of a representation. There we go. See what happens. Injective needs to get back above these previous highs before we say that it is having the same type of comeback at that ADA or Ethereum have shown. XRP, a little bit of spurt of life as well. Again, I think that it's people feel good about the economy right now, and so they also feel good about tech right now, and so the Bitcoin thing. Bitcoin price dropping today, that rise that we had and then this drop, this is really, I think this is going to be something like people buying the Bitcoin, but then transferring it into other coins, right? They buy it, they put it into their exchange and they wait for the transaction. And then the next day they're like, oh, sweet, now I can buy these altcoins. Because that dominance has been dropping quickly. Good sign. Going onward to the layer 2 coins, we've got BitTensor here. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. You can see BitTensor actually hitting up some resistance from this old zone here. This is actually a pretty significant pattern. There we go. There's that trend line. There was this reduction right here, that's a concentration of energy broke out going down. Makes sense because it came from above anyways, going into this wedge. So that coming down makes sense. Coming up though, we did press hard against that trend line. Now, we did not go above this resistance. But the fact that we went hard up against that trend line could very well mean that we are pressing upwards. The bears and the bulls are constantly fighting, and we can see the results of who's gaining ground little by little. The bulls did a good job today. In fetch, no different. Nice, strong movement going far above these previous highs. Again, this is the 4-hour chart. So we're looking at the beginning of December prices were providing quite a bit of resistance. That's why the price dipped down like this. But we brought things back up, and this area showed very little resistance. From a technical analysis perspective, this is very positive. What do? We position our trades so that we start buying at the pivot line. And you position it so that you just keep on buying as it goes down. Probably, if it were to come back down and retest something, it would be these old highs here. The fact that it jumped up above these highs, though, as swiftly as it did, tells me that this is going to be the pivot zone. If we had a difficult time getting above that, would probably be retesting this one more time. But we didn't. It went up real fast. That's our line right now, support. Polygon also coming from the depths of despair, down below 10 cents, now already up to 12. Destra Network also seeing some life. Folks, this is the sign. This is the sign. When they're all moving in tandem like this, it means that there is a overwhelming sense of positivity in the markets. If they were staggered, if we didn't see similar patterns, like for instance, Doge, you know, it's not really creating new highs. It's giving some good pressure, but it's not creating new highs like the other coins have been. I think that's because it's a meme coin. There's actually no code behind it running anything. Whereas there are actual businesses working on things like Destra. Nice, strong movement. PAL also showing some life, coming up nice and strong. Bankers candle shooting up as far as 2.7 cents. You know, if one was if one was so inclined to buy back on January 1st, they would be up 128% at the top of that candle. Currently up 74%. World. This one not so much. Showing some difficulty getting up above this one, but again, this one here is video gaming. This might take a while before we see this one take off. Think about it. When it comes to running LLMs right now, AI, the amount of compute that you require, as I'm looking into this, it's a fair bit. You got to have a pretty good computer. A business would need to spend about $1,500 to $2,500 to make sure that they got a system that would last them at least a year. You know, they'd have to spend $3,500 probably to $4,000 on a system that would last them 5 years. But still, that means that the gaming industry has got a ways to go. Because the gaming consoles, while they are incredibly powerful, they are application specific. So they actually don't have a whole lot of power to generate environments. They have to be programmed. The games have to be programmed with the environments, and then the computer just reads that data and displays the environment. Once we start seeing these LLMs being installed on our, which by the way is starting, you can get some open source LLMs running on your mobile devices, but they're very, very lightweight. They can't help you with coding things or planning things. They're more just conversational entertainment at this point. But when our mobile devices are able to install and host with new computer chips, they will be able to install and host the LLMs directly on the device. You can bet your boots the gaming industry is going to take off with great ferocity. So I don't expect gaming to have much strength. Here's Beam, another gaming coin. It does not come up beating out those previous highs that we saw at the beginning of December, because it's not like the other altcoins. Its season will be later in the cycle. Superverse, same idea. Another computing or another computer gaming or video gaming community. They've been consolidating since end of November. Oh, no, I shouldn't even say that. They've been consolidating since the beginning of October with that banker's candle. Clearpool, real world assets, it'll stay nice and low for people. Once we see, again, once the barrier of entry to hosting your own LLMs, once that barrier is reduced, this will just become a lot easier for people. A lot easier for people to host real world assets, what they call DePIN, decentralized physical infrastructure network. You can host LLMs in your house and let people use your compute in exchange for tokens. Clearpool, when that becomes that barrier of entry lowers, Clearpool will be one of the leaders. Simply because of their positioning, their values, what they want to see people do with the machines. They want to see that privacy. And their marketing is really good. Non-playable coin, good old meme, showing some resistance here at the 1.4 cent mark. We got a ways to go before we get back to where we were in the June. June was 18 cents. June of 2024 is when we got started with it. So we got a ways to go. Oh, sorry, not 18 cents, 1.9. So we got a little bit to go to get back up to there. I would like to see NPC get above the 3.2 cents before I consider buying again. We're just seeing too much. Well, the other thing is that this here, this old low, I'm going to zoom in. This low here definitely did not retest the lows from March of 2025, which was 0.5 cents. That low may very well be the end because we are having a difficult time reaching it again. We dipped down here over the last day, 27th of December. Going into the new year, we've been blasting off of that support. We got denied. This low here was also higher than that lowest low. So again, technical analysis says the bears are not winning right now. And I believe that I've been saying this for a while, I think that the meme coins are going to be leading the charge in this next cycle. And I'm not betting money on it. I mean, yeah, a little bit, but that's just from what was purchased in 2024. SPX 6900, community that is ravenously hungry to take over the SPX 500, and they are on track to do so, given the zeal that this community has. The highest number of people holding more than $1,000 in this particular meme coin. Out of all the meme coins, this one has the most people holding more than $1,000 worth. That's a pretty significant metric. $1,000 is $1,000, and if people are believing that much, you can bet your boots they're not going to be selling. There we go. That's the market analysis on our splayed tapestry of coins. I'm launching my site here, and it's launched, and now I'm uploading some of this content into the site. But this week in particular, I'm thinking this weekend or first thing next week, I'll be taking a day to go through CoinMarketCap. There's been a lot of shuffling over the past 4 or 5 months, I think, as we see companies get in position for the alt season. And I want to go through it. and I want to get a little bit of an idea of where we're at, similar to what I was doing in 2024, analyzing, finding new altcoins, figuring out who's who in the game. And I'm going to do the same thing next week, get a fresh new list. Some of these coins may very well be obsolete, where we don't really need to follow them anymore. Not necessarily that we need to sell out, but that we don't really need to analyze it. We'll just check in with it, once a month or something like that. That there will be others to be mindful of. A lot of companies over the past few years have been building. And they've been using, the technologies that are emerging. They've been using those to advance their business plans considerably. And yeah, the last half of 2025 resulted in a large influx of companies looking to create IPOs or ICOs, which are initial coin offerings. And it's time I did a little analysis on some new assets. Still, though, it doesn't matter what I say, what I analyze. I can tell you right now, ADA and Midnight are my two favorites, simply because of what they stand for and what is being made possible through their efforts. Any questions about any of this? Metals, markets, anything at all? See if I can see anything else in the short-term patterns here. Yeah, I don't see much else other than what I've mentioned. What can we expect? Well, with the US going to war, there is a lot of encouragement in the markets, obviously. Money has been reinvested. Some of the money that even was leaving the markets the last time there was the insecurity here, we had that drop between the second and third triple top. That drop there signified a pretty major loss in the markets, but some of that money has come back recently because of they're more encouraged. Oil contracts, I'm going to guess that oil contracts are going to be renegotiated here over the next little while. And I say next little while, year to 2 years. I think a lot of nations are going to be repatriatizing more of their precious metals, the ones that are a little bit behind the times. We're going to see a lot of countries, same difference, that are that have repatriatized their gold and silver. They're going to be looking at creating new energy contracts with gold and silver instead of the US dollar, especially after what happened in Venezuela. That's a shot across the bow for any country or its people that have the awareness of what that was about. Short market analysis today. Any questions?
Looks like a holding pattern. Watch and wait.
Yeah, watch and wait. I'm surprised. Now that I know the situation, I'm less surprised. But I was thinking that, the declaration of war would be something that was made after a crisis.
Not to create the crisis.
Yeah. But the States had to do something because China was definitely getting a big edge on the future of our economy by buying all that silver. So
Well, and they're
it
not
makes
allowing
sense.
silver out of the country anymore.
Yep, that's right. Lock it down, boys. I think they still tell their citizens buy as much gold as you can. Like they actually have a and of course, you know, that lends into the surveillance and oh now we can go and confiscate it from everybody. We don't have to go get it. We just let the people acquire and then we just take it from them. That is entirely a reality, but it's a different mentality. It's a different recognizing the value of it. U.S. doesn't do anything like that. They don't encourage people to buy gold and silver. They discourage it. I can remember in 2019, I wanted to test it out just to see if someone like what would happen, and I had a silver ounce, and at the time it was worth I don't know $15 or something like that, and I went to pay for something. I said, "This is worth $15. You're charging me $7. This is worth $15," and I gave it to her, and she goes, "Oh, and by the way, this was a Canadian maple, so it's legal tender in Canada. I'm allowed to pay for it. Its face value is $5. But I passed it over, and she said, "No, I can't take that." "Why not?" I said. "Well, because then we have to exchange it." Oh, the horror. No, you don't. You could accept it, give me the wares, and benefit from having the silver. That's the mentality, right? That's the mentality that most people have. I spoke with a banker one time who, this was an interesting event. Early on, I was looking at getting a 10-ounce bar of silver from TD Bank. And I was speaking with the teller. And the teller told me that I was crazy for doing that. She said, "You're just like all those other people who collect who stock up on precious metals thinking that the world is going to end. There's no point to that." I didn't have to say anything. The teller next to her, visibly from Southern Asia, said, "My father," she interrupted. She said, "My father saved gold and silver because he knew that his government was corrupt. And when the time came, he gave an ounce of gold to a shipwright who stowed his family away so they could escape to America. It is never wrong to have gold and silver." That's how she handled that. I didn't have to say anything. The other teller just head down, did the transaction, shut up.
That's funny.
Yeah, they're stupid everywhere.
Yep.
Try not to get any on you.
Yeah, it's really hard to wash off. You
Isn't it?
almost have to burn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just take off the clothes and burn them. Can't wash that out.
That's it's everywhere. Well,
Everybody have a good rest of the day.
Yeah, you also.
take care.
Have a good one.